One of the worst enemies a writer can have is time, lack of time, not being able to find the time. Today, we're going to talk about my 10 best tips for time management for writers. Hi everyone, welcome to Pen to Paper. I'm Leah Lindman, author of the Canadian Reminiscence series. Today, I'm so excited to share with you my 10 best tips for managing your time as an author. Because you're not just an author, you're also a marketer, you may also be a speaker, and of course you have your life, other responsibilities that take your time and attention. So how can you best wrangle the time that you need to write your book? Whether that's writing a first draft, rewriting and editing, publishing, getting that ready and done, you need time. And so many times I hear authors saying, I don't have enough time, I don't know where to find the time. Well, these are my 10 best proven tips that I have used and have made me successful in the ways that I use my time as a writer, and I hope they can serve you today. My number one tip is to designate a time to write your work. Pick a time during the day that is best for you. If you're an early riser and you like to get those creative juices flowing before everyone else is awake, then pick that time. Now, if you're a night owl like myself, that might be a good time for you as well. However, I have been trying to write late at night because, well, I've had a lot of changes in my personal life where I've had to kind of figure out what time works best for me. And I figured out that it is not best for me anymore as I thought it would be. So I will be going back to afternoons, which kind of worked for me all along, but then a lot of changes happened, so I thought I should switch it, and now I'm switching back because that has always been my most productive time to write the words that I want to write. Designate that time and stick to it. Now, I have heard some other authors say that they do take time away, let's say a 4-week vacation, a 6-week vacation, a 2-week vacation, and they'll either go to some other place that is not their home, perhaps Cuba, Costa Rica, maybe a chalet in the woods where there's no distractions whatsoever, and they input 9 to 12 hours a day just writing to get the book done. If that's something that you have the leisure to do, you have the finances to do, perhaps you don't have people at home or pets at home that need your constant attention, and you think that would be a good game plan for you, go ahead and do that. But I think for a lot of us, we just don't have that option, or very rarely do we do. And if we kind of wait around for that perfect time to go on a writing vacation, it's not going to happen. So that's why I highly suggest write every day and pick a time. My next tip is pick how long you're going to write for. Now, if you're starting off, you may be only able to write for 10 minutes. That was a little creepy. I'm hearing mice in the walls. This isn't even in my house. My new studio is out in a shed 50 yards away from my home, but I love it. It works. Back to the time management. Pick a time, an amount of time that you think you're going to be able to write. When I first started to write, I needed to build that writing muscle and committing and focusing to a certain amount of time. So I first started off with 15 to 20 minutes, and if that's all you can do, then write 15 to 20 minutes every day. This is a discipline. Creativity, if you let creativity rule your time, then you probably will not be getting a lot of writing done. But if you make it a discipline, that will actually give your creativity an impetus to come out and perform when you need it to perform. So pick that time. And let's say you can only start with 20 minutes. You eventually work yourself up to half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. If you decided that you are able to write for, let's say, 2 hours or an hour and a half, I highly suggest that you time yourself. So once you get to the 50-minute mark, you stop your writing. go get a glass of water, have a little snack, walk around the house, do some stretching. It just helps your brain reset from your work. Studies have shown that this helps people to be highly effective in the work that they are doing. So go ahead, do that, come back to your work, and then you have this freshness that you're able to bring to your words. Tip number 3, plan ahead for what you're going to write for the day. Make time before you write. I tend to like to do this in the morning. This is the time when I wake up earlier than my kids, and I'm able to just have a few minutes of quiet to myself to really think about what my day is going to look like. Now, you could use this for regular to-do lists and whatever else needs to be done during the day, but as a writer, take this time to figure out the general direction that you're going to be taking in your writing today. We want to be intentional with the time that we have, so have a general idea of what you're going to write. And also, marketing comes into play with this too. Take some time, figure out a time during the day. This is also going for marketing, but figure out during the time for the day when you can do your marketing, and also figure out the game plan for your marketing that day. Tip number 5, declare your intentions for your time to those around you. If you are in a position like myself where my husband is sometimes at home, he is a cabinet maker, carpentry person, so if he has a job that he is actually building furniture at home or cabinets at home, then, and he's around the house, and I also have my 6 kids, I need to be intentional by telling them what I expect when I'm writing during my time that I have designated for writing. So as I said, afternoons, that tends to be after I've taught my kids school for the day, and then I can be intentional by telling them, guys, I need this half hour of quiet. Could you please go to the rec room, play with your toys there? And now that they're older and my 2 youngest are napping, this works out really well, and they have an understanding that this is very helpful to me. Or if you're just with your spouse, say, listen, for this next half hour, for an hour, whatever you've chosen, I need time to write. And if you give them enough time ahead of time before you actually get into your writing time, then they can be respectful and appreciate your openness to share that and your communication. Also, next tip is to turn off your distractions. Now, this kind of goes hand in hand with declaring your intentionality of time with those around you, but turn off your phone, okay? Airplane mode, that's what it's there for. Don't look at your emails, don't look at your Facebook or Instagram. Do not, I know you're gonna be tempted to do it because we tend to do it when we're sitting down. Listen, you've got this time, it's precious. Don't waste it by feeding into your temptations of looking at your phone. I know there's a lot of fun stuff to do on there, even building community, which is highly important. But when it's your writing time, this is a sacred space. Nothing touches it. Unless it's a life and death emergency, then that touches it, and that's different. But then if there's also the occasional day where perhaps you've already put together a family vacation day, whole day thing, or weekends. I also don't really write on weekends, but weekdays is a day for work and focus. So that time is sacred. Number 7 is also finding an activity during the day where you can stew over your ideas. This has helped me greatly in my writing, is that I've heard authors say, particularly with water, so like washing dishes, when they're washing dishes, they can kind of mull over what their character's intentions are going to be, what perhaps is the next scene that is coming into play, showers. But for me, it's actually driving in a car. When I'm driving in a car, okay, I am paying attention to the roads, I promise you. But I am also thinking of my characters and getting to know them better and creating the world around me in my mind, so that when I come to my blank screen, it's always fresh. There's something new that I've been stewing over that I get to try in my writing. I'm a pantser, so this works out really well for me. Perhaps if you are not a pantser, but an outliner, then make time to outline, and that can help you in your outlining journey. Number 8, also being intentional with your time. Do not waste your time by staring at a blank screen. Now, this is specifically for pantsers, not for plotters, although maybe plotters, you may have dealt with this before, but it is sometimes really difficult to just write when the inspiration isn't there. Maybe even if you know where you're going, but you're just not feeling inspired to write that scene, write it anyways, because it doesn't matter if it's garbage. You can come back to it. Just write, even if it's word vomit on the page. Just write, because you can always come back to it and fix it. But at least you're writing and getting your words in, and also paying honor to that sacred time place that you've designated for yourself. Number 9, if you are wanting to if you're wanting to hold yourself to a professional standard, such as having deadlines, if you said that you're going to have your book out by the end of the year and you're really working to keep that, set the deadline and then work backwards to see how much time you need to get the book ready for publication. How much time are you going to need to do your 5 to 7 rewrites, edits? How much time are you going to need to send that out to your beta readers and give their feedback to you? How much time? So work backwards, pick a time, and then work backwards and see if that's feasible. If it's not, then pick a later date and then work backwards to see if it's feasible. You do what you are able to do. Specifically, if you're self-published, then this gives you the perfect opportunity to set your own deadlines. If you're traditionally published, then this definitely may not work out as well for you, because you have deadlines that are given to you by your publisher. But if you are self-published, then this is definitely an option that I would highly suggest, just to keep yourself accountable. And last but not least, number 10, accountability. Again, giving homage to your time space. If you feel that you are wasting your time and you catch yourself wasting time, write it down in a notebook. I wasted 5 minutes on Instagram. I opened that one email I wasn't supposed to open. I played with the dog. Write down, or if you did hit that time space that you wanted to hit, say I wrote the full half hour, I went past my full hour, and then maybe pick a writer buddy that you guys help each other and talk about your wins and struggles throughout the week, so that they can encourage you, you can encourage them, and that just helps you want to focus more and give more of your time to your craft that you love. Guys, the whole of this message is just to be intentional with your time. It's so important. Time is precious. We know that, especially when we got kids and they're little and they grow up. It goes by so quickly. And just like that goes by so quickly, our excuses can pile up, and before we know it, our time is gone. We've wasted a year putzing around, not doing much, figuring out stuff, but not actually doing. This is so detrimental to your work. You want to impact readers? Then make the time to stick to your craft and respect yourself and your intentions to do so. That is my encouragement to you. If you guys have any extra time management tips, please share it down in the comments below. And I hope this has served you today. Today is the day for you to write. It's the day for you to set some intentionality in your writing. Go and do this. See you next week. Bye.